Welcome my beautiful people. In this video, we are going to share one or two things about civic education, and we are going to use questions from section B of civic education for the year 2024 for GCE. So section B has 40 marks. There are 5 questions in this section. You are told to answer all the questions in the answer booklet provided. So the question reads, in 2011, Michael Sata, the then Zambian Republic president, he appointed a committee to draft. So the task was to draft the Zambian constitution. Question A, what was the name of the technical committee that was appointed to draft the constitution? So the name given to this committee was technical. So technical committee. So technical committee on drafting the Zambian constitution. So we know what the constitution is by now. So we are looking at a set of rules and laws that can be used to govern a given nation. Then question B, who was the chairperson of the committee? So the chairperson of the committee was the Honorable Aneo Silingwe. Then by then he was the Chief Justice. And this Honorable Silungwe died on 30th June in 2024. But here the answer is we just say Honorable Aneo Silungwe. We move on to question C. Give 3 recommendations of the technical committee mentioned in A. So the first one, we can say scrutinizing comments. Okay, then the second one would be to draft. So to draft the constitution based on the previous group. To draft the constitution based on previous group. So previous group, we are looking at like Chona constitution, all those. Then also we need also to look at the word transmission as our third one. So word transmission. So word transmission to the national and the sector group. Okay, so we move on to question D. So question D, we just need to state 2 reports the committee referred to in drafting the constitution. So the first one was the provincial validation report. Then the second one, so apart from provincial validation report, the second one was national conventional validation report. So national conventional validation report. Then question E, mention one factor to consider when amending a constitution. So we know that if you look at amending, we are looking at changing. So what are the factors that can be put into consideration when the government is about to amend a given constitution? So we need to vote, and the voting, whenever 2/3 votes in accordance of changing, then that is a go-ahead decision. So we'll say approved by 2/3 vote. So it can be approved by 2/3 group. Then the second one also can be ratification by 3/4 of the state. So let's move on to question number 2. So question number 2A, what concept is used to refer to a person with severe and potential fatal condition caused by physical dependence on alcohol? Okay, so we can give 2 answers for a question like this one. If you want, we can just say alcoholism. So if not alcoholism, we can say alcohol use disorder. AUD. Then we move on to question B. Mention the name of the drug found in cannabis. So we know what a drug is. A drug is any substance that changes the chemistry of the human body. So the thinking, maybe the mood, the behavior changes. So now we just want the drug that is found in cannabis. So it is known as tetrahydrocannabis, which is THC. Then question C, which form of cannabis has the highest content in terms of percentage of the drug mentioned in B? So the highest is hashish oil. So of about 22%. Then if you are asked like to find the lowest, so the lowest is marijuana. So marijuana has the lowest content of this drug, in case you are asked a different question. Then question D, state the process used to refer to the production of heroin. So we call this one as acetylation of morphine. Right, so let's move on to question E. How does lysergic acid diethylamide affect the user? So there are so many ways in which the user is affected. So the first one, it can change the mood. So changes the mood. Apart from changes the mood, the user can feel exhausted. Apart from being exhausted, the user can change his or her behavior. So let's just say changes the behavior of the user. So there are so many negative impacts. Even it may cause hallucination. So hallucination is where you are seeing what is not there. Even sometimes these people may become so excited in such that they are laughing of things that are not in existence. So these are some of the effects that we can expect for a user to have in future. So we move on to question F. What name is given to a disease caused by alcohol where the liver becomes fat and enlarged, causing inflammation? So this one is called alcohol steato. Alcohol steato hepatitis. So the key word is hepatitis. Then for G, name the government institution charged with the responsibility of curbing substance abuse. So it's Drug Enforcement Abuse. Drug Enforcement Commission, commonly known as DEC. So we move on to question 3. So for question 3, explain the following concepts used in media governance. So the first one is gender bias. So we know what gender bias is. So bias simply means like one thing is considered to be more prominent than the other one, or is treated of high value compared to. So gender bias is where one gender is considered to be of high value than the other gender in most cases. And in the past, we know that men were treated with more respect compared to women. So that was a gender bias. So we can say behavior that shows favoritism toward one gender. One gender over another. Then language bias. So this is similar to gender. The only difference is where the behavior, the favoritism is toward one language. For example, English is treated as one of language that is gender biased. If we remove English in Zambia, we can consider Bemba. Bemba is more prominent, is more considered to be of high value than the other languages. So we'll say behavior that shows favoritism toward one language. Over another. Then we move on to private media. So we can just look at the word private. So we say is any medium. So we can say is any medium owned or controlled by individuals or by individuals or a group of people. Then for public, we know what public media are. So we can say any medium so used for public knowledge. And action. For example, ZNBC channel is an example of a public media. Then if you look at movie TV is an example of a private media. So let's move on to question number 4. So question number 4a, explain the concept of environmental degradation. So we are looking at where the environment degrades, loses its value. So we'll say is any act. So is any act that makes the environment less fit for human, plants, and animals. Okay, so that is what degradation is. So we are looking at the concept or action in which the environment loses its original value in such a way that now life becomes hard for living organisms. Then if we move on to question B, name 2 physical components of the environment. So water, the soil, can be air, and other conditions like temperature. All these are components of the environment. So this is science. We can just say this is biology, part of biology. So biology, science, the activity of human being in relationship with now the environment. Question C, mention 1 effect of water pollution on living organisms. So the first one, we can say causes diseases. You know, when a human being drinks water that is polluted, he or she may develop a disease. So apart from causes of diseases, it may also cause, so it can cause eutrophication. So eutrophication is whereby there is too much nutrients in water. Then because of that, the algae outgrow the aquatic animals, and because of that, the dissolved oxygen is depleted, leaving the aquatic animals to die. Then it can also cause instant death to aquatic animals. For example, if we may have chemicals coming from the industries and ocean to the river, so those may cause the fish to die. So we can say can cause instant death to aquatic animals. Then question D, state 2 effects of environmental degradation. So degradation, number 1, can cause or can result in air pollution, water pollution, even land pollution. Then the second one, it can cause also, we can say, can result in animal displacement. So animal displacement is where the animals shift to another area because the land or area where they were living on have been destroyed. So it can cause or result in animal displacement. They shift. They need to shift and look for an area that is healthy. Then give one example of resource depletion. So resource depletion is where we have the soil. So it can be soil erosion, that is depletion. Then number 2, forest. So forest can be deforestation, that is depletion. Then fisheries, where the water bodies are destroyed, that is also depletion. Then for the last one, I'm going to just say 1 or 2, then I'm going to leave it to you guys to give it the answer. Briefly describe the circumstances in which the laws of Zambia do not allow. So do not allow adoption of children. So how can a couple be not given a chance to adopt a child in Zambia according to the laws of Zambia? So you need to look at number 1, the application. How can you apply for the adoption of a child? So if you fail to fulfill the rules and laws according to the application, then you're not going to be given the chance of adopting such a child. So you can answer the questions, the answers for number 5, and you can just WhatsApp me on this number. It's good that at times we interact, so I just want to hear from you guys. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.